Welcome back, everybody, to the Hoopz Junkiez Podcast. I am your host, Marcus. I'm one half of the duo, Marcus and AB, on Hoopz Junkiez. And today, we're going to be going over the discussion that's been kind of taking place with Daryl Morey of the Houston Rockets, the ex-general manager. And I do say ex-general manager of the Houston Rockets because he just recently stepped down, kind of sending shockwaves through the NBA. And so I have my take on it, why it might have happened. And of course, AB got his take on it. And so we're just going to kind of get into that today and let that be the discussion for the day. So needless to say, Daryl Morey has been with the Rockets for the entirety of the James Harden era with the Houston Rockets. Daryl Morey brought James Harden in from the Oklahoma City Thunder, where he was part of the trio with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. At one point, that trio made it to the NBA Finals, and they were going against the Miami Heat. And of course, they lost.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what, too, Marcus? I just thought about it. It's ironic that, do you know what today is?
No, what's today?
Today is the anniversary of the trade that brought James Harden to the Rockets.
I didn't even realize that.
Today is James Harden Day.
James Harden. The James Harden to the Houston Rockets Day. Now, this day is big because it not only did it break up the trio, the young Thunder, but this kind of opened up the doors to James Harden becoming the superstar that he is today, changing the face of the NBA, changing the way the players play. James Harden has done so much, but we'll get into James Harden. That's pretty big. I didn't realize that. But let's focus on Daryl Morey. Now, I'm gonna let you give your take first to the people on what do you think kind of ran Daryl Morey out of Houston?
Well, I think it's controversial. I don't know how controversial it is because I think a lot of people probably agree with me. But Daryl Morey, from the moment he sent that tweet a year ago, mm-hmm. right? It's hard to believe the season is that long that it was over a year ago that tweet went out about China and Hong Kong.
Right.
And caused all that uproar, amongst China and their relationships with the league and the Houston Rockets. And anybody that's a Houston Rockets fan, obviously know that ever going back since Yao Ming, mm-hmm. the Rockets have been China's adopted team.
Right.
So they're the team of China, even, Jeremy Lin, even though he's not Chinese per se, but, the Asian connection, like the Rockets and Asia has always been that thing. So with that being said, from a business perspective, you're the adopted team of that country, like biggest country, with the most people, the crazy fans over there in China,
Yeah.
And when you have the Chinese government basically put a ban on you as a team, it's going to have a financial impact.
Right.
And so just before we even get into the ramifications for what it meant for the league, just think about what it meant for the Houston Rockets. Tillman Fertitta, being, a relatively new owner, just bought the team. He spent $2.2 billion to buy the Rockets just like 3 years ago. That at the time still is the most that a team was purchased for in the NBA.
Right.
And from that moment on, Tillman Fertitta's been basically losing, trying to recoup his investment, and he's been losing money. And Daryl Morey upsets your biggest financial, backer, millions and millions of dollars.
Right. That was like that. China backing that team financially was probably the reason that Tillman Fertitta even decided to get into to even buy into the Houston Rockets franchise, because he saw what the value was in that.
He like, I got James Harden, I got China behind me. This is one of the bigger cities. They're competitive.
Yao Ming still has some ties with the organization.
Yeah. And then from the moment that tweet was sent out, China's like, we cut ties. We're not showing anything Rockets. You know, first of all, we're gonna rebel against the NBA, but we're gonna not anything Rockets. Like we won't broadcast any games. We're not nothing at all that have to do with the Rockets. And I mean that's a big loss. So from a business perspective, I think Tillman Fertitta was pissed off. I think he had the right to be pissed off. Mm-hmm. He probably still is pissed off. And I think Daryl Morey was a dead man walking, so to speak, from the time that tweet was sent. And the first thing that came out when Daryl Morey, when the news came out that he was stepping down, because that's how they phrase it, is Daryl Morey's decision. He's stepping down, and obviously people are going to go to the China, that Hong Kong tweet. And the Rockets and everybody came out and tried to say this had nothing to do with that. This was just Daryl Morey's decision on his own. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. This came all the way out of left field. The last time that I was hearing anything about Daryl Morey was these were the articles that were coming out. Mike D'Antoni stepped down. First of all, Mike D'Antoni stepped down, and the articles come out saying Daryl Morey had dinner with Mike D'Antoni, had good conversations, and he reassured Mike D'Antoni that he wanted D'Antoni to come back as a coach, right? And that Daryl Morey was upset, like really irate, when he found out after he got off the plane, leaving the bubble, that D'Antoni was going to step away. So that's one thing. Mm-hmm. And then they also came out with articles saying that Daryl Morey's job was safe.
Yeah, right? I remember those articles. Yeah.
So well, then if those are the articles, that's the news that's coming out. Then are we really to believe that Daryl Morey on his own, with no involvement from ownership or anybody else, pushing it, just decided randomly that he wanted to step away? And they're phrasing it saying that this was something that he was thinking about throughout the bubble. He was deciding that this is just time. He wants to spend time with his son that's in high school. It's his senior year. And they let coaches know that he was going to be stepping away, that they're interviewing. It's like, to me, it's not, I'm not buying it. I
want to just kind of get this straight. You're kind of using to draw your conclusion on why you think Daryl Morey is no longer with the Rockets. You're using the whole Mike D'Antoni stepping down thing to kind of help you come to that conclusion. Is that what it is?
Context clues.
Context clues. That's what I meant.
Basic elementary level stuff.
Investigative opinion giving.
where it's smoke, there's fire, and it just doesn't add up. Daryl Morey has been on record, all this time saying how much, he was determined to win the championship with James Harden and help, that they were going to get it done and that they were close. And I'm not buying that before James Harden's contract is up and they officially have to, say, well, it's not going to work. We had to enter a rebuild, that Daryl Morey would jump ship. I'm not buying it. Yeah. So in my opinion, he was either told all the way back in October last year that, he was done at the end of the season if the Rockets didn't win the championship. He might have been done even if he went. I don't know. On The Last Dance, Phil Jackson was told that the Bulls could go 82-0. Right?
He's still going to be done.
Still going to lose his job.
Yeah.
That Mike D'Antoni and specifically Daryl Morey probably was under the same thing. They could have won the championship. They were going to lose that job because it's just too much money that you cost this man who just bought the team.
I understand why you would draw that conclusion. But see, if you use the context clues with Mike D'Antoni stepping down as a why, as a kind of hint of Daryl Morey is probably going next. But the whole thing with Mike D'Antoni was on the table even before the situation happened with Daryl Morey and China.
Well, I have two theories. I have two theories.
Well, because Mike D'Antoni he's been failing in the playoffs, like getting close and just failing in the playoffs, and that ultimatum was given to him before the whole thing happened with Daryl Morey.
Yeah. So I have two theories. The first theory is that Daryl Morey was a dead man walking since the tweet went out, and that Tillman Fertitta wanted to fire him then. And I would probably say that all the owners around the league and the NBA at large maybe wanted to fire him then. But if you think about, what the tweet was, it was a tweet backing, it was a pro-democracy tweet.
Right.
So he's tweeting about what the United States stands for.
Right.
So I think the NBA was put in a precarious situation of choosing: are we gonna stand for our principles and our values as a country, or are we gonna stand for our bottom line, money?
Yeah.
Right. So I think that the league, the Rockets, Tillman Fertitta, and the league were put in a situation where, well, if we punish this man, if we fire him, ban him out of the league, it's gonna look bad here at home because you're saying, well, you're standing with communist China.
Right.
But at the same time, the whole time they're probably seething underneath, like, man, this dude just cost us millions. Not just the Rockets. Keep in mind, not just the Rockets.
Yeah.
It cost them millions.
He cost it. Let's put it all out there. He cost the players money. He cost the league money. And he cost his team money. He cost his owner money.
And not just, and that's not just for this year, because you say that's just okay. Well, they'll be mad for a little while. No, you tarnish that relationship moving forward. And even if the league can recover, the Rockets are not recovering with Daryl Morey in that position.
Okay, I'm gonna give my point of view. First of all, I want to say before I get started, if you guys are watching this podcast and if you like what you're seeing, you enjoy the conversation, I want you to go ahead and smash the subscribe button and also turn on a bell notification. So whenever we do one of these videos, you guys get the update and you get the notification that, hey, it's a new video out. All right. Also, what we want you to do is leave a comment in the comment section down below and get involved with these conversations. Let us know what your opinions are. If you think that AB and I are wrong about something, hey, we want to hear from you, and we may even have you on the podcast to talk about your point of view. So go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna let me tell you what I think. All right. So I'm not as like hard-nosed about that opinion as you are, although I see your point of view. And it's a possibility, but I just want to kind of give you an alternative way of seeing it. So my thing is that I think Daryl Morey stepped down more out of guilt than out of, hey, everybody trying to force you out. And the reason why I say that is because you think about Daryl Morey, where he is in his career. He brought, just like today, we talk about today is the anniversary of James Harden coming over to play for the Houston Rockets. James Harden is not done. His story is not written yet. And Daryl Morey, I'm sure, wanted to be a part of that because James Harden was he said it when he wrote the goodbye and thank you letter to the fans in Houston in the newspaper. He was like, if it wasn't for James Harden, I mean, James Harden made my career pretty much.
Yeah.
And James Harden is not done. And I think Daryl Morey wasn't really done. He still have a lot more creativity. I never seen the man come to a team and make the seemingly impossible moves that Daryl Morey has made. And with that being said, the man has a thirst, a hunger for what he does. And so for him,
MIT conference and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. So for him to just all of a sudden just step down without having somewhere else to go, I think it's more of a, hey, I'm gonna step back because I know what I did and I know what I cost this team and I know what I cost the players and I know what I cost the league. I'm gonna just go ahead and step back and and let them try to recover. Now, with that being said, also too, remember China told the league and told the Rockets that, hey, if y'all don't fire Daryl Morey, we pulling up out of there. And the league backed Daryl Morey out of, principle. So too, I think that's another thing. I think Daryl Morey may have just decided, hey, I'm gonna just go ahead and step back and see if they can mend that relationship with China, and let the league mend the relationship with China, and recover some of the costs that I cost everybody. Now, definitely, was Daryl Morey in the wrong for what he did? I don't think he's in the wrong. I mean, he was just talking about, like what you say, what we stand for, human rights and freedoms and freedom of speech and all of that stuff.
He put him in a bad situation because the league likes the NBA is probably the most progressive out of all the American sports leagues.
Exactly.
And they love to stand on, giving their players a voice, and empowering them to speak their mind and speak up on social issues and all that type of stuff.
Right.
So, it would be really bad if the league came out and said, we're about to mute Daryl Morey and say you can't do this when you're constantly telling the players that they can do it.
Yeah. So and it would look bad for anybody to fire Daryl Morey. It would look bad. And imagine also another reason why I think Daryl Morey just stepped down and the Rockets didn't fire him, because imagine the PR nightmare that the Rockets would go through if anybody was to ever discover that Daryl Morey didn't just step down, that he was forced out.
Well, listen, I'm a conspiracy theorist, so take it for what you will. I think that Daryl Morey was forced out. I'm not buying that he felt bad and he just, I'm just because it's the right thing to do. The man loved his job. He was determined to prove that his way could work. And I don't believe it. I believe that he was forced out, and I believe that the league knew about it and were in on it. But for the betterment of the league, it wouldn't even do the NBA reporters who cover the league a service to put the league on blast that way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because the NBA, ESPN, TNT, like they're all partners, Disney, like they're all partners together in this. So it doesn't behoove anybody to come out there and be like, well.
So you think everybody in on it, they understand, hey, we're gonna have to blackball Morey if we gonna ever recover anything they had to do. So you think everybody's in on it? ESPN,
the players,
the writers, the players,
everybody.
That's a bad place
James
to
Harden,
be.
James Harden, he could love Daryl Morey.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He could love him. You know what I'm saying? James Harden got financial interest in all these players, like you said, endorsement deals and all that type of stuff. It was better for one person to take the thing. And I think Daryl Morey understood it.
That's the reason why I think Daryl Morey just decided, or it's either that or be hated. It's like, hey, I'm gonna just go ahead and step down. I apologize.
He already had a lot of haters. He already had. The thing is, the reason why I won't accept it is because I can't give Tillman Fertitta the benefit of the doubt.
That's all it is. You don't want to give him the benefit.
Track record. I go through his man. I know I sound like a bitter Rockets fan. But I think I had the right to be emotional. This dude bought the Houston Rockets at the climax. They're right on the brink of winning the championship. And every single move that has happened under his watch since he took over has been to cut costs and been about the bottom dollar. Now, from a business perspective, I like to try to fancy myself as a little, businessman. I understand worried about your money, but I'm a fan. And as a fan, I want you to put the best product on the floor. You can't be all the way over the salary cap, saying I'm just going to let people walk out and not pay them. How you can't get better. You can't get better that way. And I can go through every transaction since he took over and prove my point of him cutting costs. And I think Daryl Morey making him lose that money was the final straw. He already probably was like, I don't want to spend. And now I'm losing money too. And then the coronavirus hit. No fans in the seat. All these home games gone. The playoffs, revenue, all this stuff. So I don't want, he's within reason to say, you cost me too much money, man. My casino industry businesses ain't doing what they're supposed to be doing. He's within his right. I get it, but
none of his
I'm not
business is
buying
probably
that
because he
Daryl.
got all these entertainment businesses that requires people to be there, show up in person, and for him to actually make money. And all
So
of them are taking a hit all at once.
yeah. So he doesn't have minority owners and stuff. Like his family, the Fertitta family owns the Rockets outright, and he refuses to sell minority shares of the Rockets.
He need
He
to
just
go ahead
wants
and
it
let
to be a
me in.
family thing. So he even just so I heard he took out a loan and stuff like that, and it's like, why is this billionaire taking out $200 million loans?
Let me let you in on the secret. A lot of these people that are billionaires, millionaires, these people, they don't exactly, their net worth is not a real net worth, because a lot of that money, like you said, are loans. They owe that money back. It is what it is. It's a loan.
Yeah,
You
he bought the
know,
Rockets on the loan because he's still paying.
exactly. So, he could lose the Rockets. Whenever you have something on the loan, it's just like your house. You get a loan on a house, that house don't belong to you until that house is paid off. And so if you own everything, look at Donald Trump. But we're not gonna get into that. But anyway, I understand what you're talking about with the Fertitta family having the majority of stake in all of their investments. But that's why he needs
Yeah.
to go ahead and let your boy in. Give me
So
some of the Rockets.
yeah, I'll buy some shit. Look, it ain't gonna do much. You know what I'm saying? I might be able to add
Especially
a
now. You know what? Actually, no, don't let me in on the Rockets. They are a bad investment right now because our biggest stakeholder just pulled
I
out.
can add a I can add one of those little parking blocks, when you park in your car so you don't pull too far. I can probably add one of those to the parking lot, but no, to me, he from the family standpoint, his main source of revenue is the casino industry and the restaurant business. Yeah. Those are two of the hardest hit industries, with the coronavirus. So he's just bleeding money. Vegas shut down for a long time. It's open back up, but not at the level that it was.
I like how we talking about this man pockets. Yeah. Pocket watching. He bleeding money. He just bleeding money.
If you're a Houston Rocket fan and you want to see the Rockets get back to being competitive, eat at Landry's.
Yeah. Eat it.
Visit the Rainforest Cafe, something like that.
Maybe he can afford to pick up another player or keep a player. You know what I'm talking about?
So he ain't gonna pick up another player. You might keep a player.
Maybe.
Otherwise, Eric Gordon, you out of here. Because we ain't eat at Landry's enough.
He could save money by hiring John Lucas as the coach instead of going for Silas or JVG.
No, listen.
Wipe the tear, AB.
So hold on, real quick. So I think that, although I'm not gonna dismiss your possibility that Morey felt bad and stepped down because of the damage that was done.
Can't dismiss it. It's a very smart take.
But I think that either Tillman told him that he was fired way back when, or
and let him finish out the season.
Yeah, or he made, when you want someone out, you don't have to tell them, I don't want to have the heart. I'm not going to tell you fired, but I'm going to make life so miserable every day that you're going to want out on your own. So when they came out, so when we talk about John Lucas, when I heard John Lucas mentioned as one of the leading candidates to coach the Houston Rockets, and then Morey just was fired, I was like, that's the final straw. That would have been that's enough. If I was Morey, I would have been like, I'm done. Yeah. I'm done. You cannot be serious.
So he was forced out. There you go. I agree with you now. He was forced out. Because John Lucas was going to be made the coach.
I'm not the biggest Mike D'Antoni fan, but this whole roster was constructed to Mike D'Antoni's liking. Right?
And to Daryl Morey's liking.
And then you say, a large reason why D'Antoni reportedly stepped away was because Tillman didn't even call him. He felt disrespected by Tillman. So here, if you're trying to force people's hand, force Daryl Morey out, I'm going to make the coach that you want feel so bad that he walks away on his own. And then when you're looking at Jeff Van Gundy, Doc Rivers, Tyronn Lue, all these players, then all these coaches. I'm going to float the story out there that John Lucas is one of the leading candidates.
But okay, so with that being said, when you said that, I was looking at the Bleacher Report, and the headline is that it says Silas and JBG are Houston's top choices. Notice that headline came after Daryl Morey stepped down.
After Daryl
it's like psych. Psych. We wasn't gonna make John Lucas the coach. We just wanted you run you off.
Yeah. So I saw Jonathan Fagan, the Houston Chronicle Rockets beat writer, tweet that out or send that out yesterday, and I was, I've been having headaches and stuff. I've been feeling real bad the last couple of weeks. And I didn't have a headache today.
Yeah.
I saw the headline that said Jeff Van Gundy and Steven Silas were the favorites and no longer John Lucas, and my headache went away.
That's how you get rid of a migraine right there.
The thought of John Lucas as the head coach of the Rockets and James Harden final prime years, like you're trying to maximize the window, it was just too much to bear. I'm like, we got Tillman Fertitta as the owner. He might be the new Donald Sterling. Y'all know the old LA Clippers owner for all them years when the Clippers were the Clippers.
Prick.
That might be what we're looking at. And his first move post getting rid of Daryl Morey would have been to bring in John Lucas.
Yeah.
Man, I can't even look. I can't even put into words how frustrated and I would have just turned in my car. I would have started wearing a bag over my head during Rockets games.
Yeah.
I would just put the bag over my head.
Well, you may be wearing a bag over your head anyway, depending on like how this season goes. I'm not too terribly confident, optimistic going forward here. So me and you might be wearing. Maybe we'll get a bag that says Hoopz Junkiez on it. Oh, hey, check it out, the shirt. Notice I got the Hoopz Junkiez Podcast shirt. Got the Hoopz Junkiez Podcast shirt. So stay tuned for that. That'll be. I'll leave a link in the description when those shirts come available to purchase for anybody that's interested. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you just might be wearing a bag over your head that says Hoopz Junkiez on it.
So you know where I'm standing on it. And this is I've had the last week to kind of think this through since the Daryl Morey news broke, and so I'm gonna try to be optimistic and try to give Tillman Fertitta the benefit of the doubt and say he's just not a rambling idiot. I'm gonna try to think.
I hope so. I hope the guy that's taking Daryl Morey's place.
Raphael Stone or something like that.
Raphael Stone.
He's been with the Rockets for a while. He's been around Daryl Morey. The reports are he's been really involved in all the decisions that's been made and trades and acquisitions that are made. So I'm going to try to say that this guy has some smarts about him, some wits, and he knows the game. Mm-hmm. The roster is all locked in. It is what it is. So at least as long as the coaching decision is not a terrible one.
Yeah.
Meaning Lucas. At least from that standpoint, the Rockets should be a competitive team, a borderline contender, second round type team.
Yeah.
This year going forward, and maybe they get some lucky breaks. Hopefully that's what kind of where I'm at with it right now.
Yeah.
So I don't think that I'll be wearing a bag over my head anytime soon.
Yeah.
But
we'll see. Man, hey,
we might be dark.
You want to pull a Skip and Shannon and put some dew on it? You'll be wearing that bag before the end of it. Well, next year. Let's let
the off season play out. Let's let the draft happen. Free agency. Let me see. I reserve the right to change my mind and I might have the bag on layaway.
I got a Hoopz Junkiez bag with a built-in mask on it just for you that you can just walk around with it. because
Listen.
I'm not very confident in this coming season. Thank you for watching the Hoopz Junkiez Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the video. And if you did, make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe, and comment down below. And if you want to check out more videos, don't forget to hit the bell notification so that you are alerted anytime we post new videos.